What is going on, YouTube fam? Welcome to the Jonathan Dearman Show, the least political show on YouTube. If you enjoy content that is more loyal to principles than political parties, consider subscribing, guys. And today I want to talk about the Thanksgiving and Christmas guidelines that came out for California a few weeks ago and give my own opinion. And I do want to throw a little disclaimer out here. I do have my own personal bias here. As a resident of California, I have my own opinion, but I'm going to try to be as fair and neutral as possible when reviewing these guidelines. With that being said, let me start out by saying this. These guidelines are junk. They are crazy. They are totally crazy. Okay, let's go over some of these. And by the way, it's worth saying that we are all on the same page. We want to protect lives. Every single life matters. We should all take the proper precautions to protect the people around us that are vulnerable. But as you know, we could set an infinite amount of guidelines that could potentially and probably save 1, 2, 3 more lives, but then we'd all be locked up in caves for the rest of our lives. And so there is some sort of line of reasonability that you have to come to. And even if you agree with these guidelines that are being said, by the way, the question is not just, do you agree that this is how we should operate? The question goes beyond that to, do you agree that the government should mandate that we operate this way? Because those are two different things. So just because you may even agree with some of these and think, yeah, that is how we operate, we're talking about two different things here. We're not just talking about, are these things that people should do? Are these guidelines things that the government should be mandating within our own households, what we do during the holidays? Different people have different opinions on this. Some people would say, for the sake of all, the government needs to step in here and mandate these kind of things. And listen, I get it, but this is, I believe, the government stepping too far. I think they've stepped too far in several areas. This isn't it. But specifically in California, listen to these guidelines, okay? Let's walk through some of them. No more than 3 households, including your own, may gather. Okay, so for Thanksgiving and Christmas, a parent that has 3 grown children, one of the kids has to go, right? The parents can be there, that's their household, and 2 of the children in each of their households can be there, but the 3rd child, because that makes a total of 4, cannot be there. They got to go. The host of the gathering must collect all the names and the addresses of those attending. Okay, I mean, fine. You know, it's not my favorite thing, but all gatherings must be held outside. No gathering around the fireplace and opening presents, guys. What if it's cold? What if it's raining? Doesn't matter. You cannot gather with your own family inside. That's crazy. All gatherings must be held outside. Not all gatherings are recommended to be outside. All gatherings must be held outside. But listen to this. This is good news. You can go to the bathroom inside if the bathroom is frequently sanitized. And if it's not frequently sanitized, then what? What are you supposed to do? But even whoever's sanitizing it is crossing the guideline because they walked through the house before the house had been sanitized to sanitize the bathroom. But you can go to the bathroom inside if the bathroom is frequently sanitized. And if it's not frequently sanitized, then find a big bush and some strong leaves. You're allowed to gather in an open park with 3 households only, but no concurrent gatherings like with people you know in the same park. So if you're going to go to a park with 3 households, including your own, and gather there, you have to make sure that no one else that you know is going to be gathering somewhere else in that park, because there could be potential interactions there. So you not only need to send out a memo to the people that are coming to this gathering, you need to send out to all your friends and family saying, we claim this park, no one else can gather here. All seating must be socially distant. No eating around the table, even outdoors at a park. All food must be single serve, disposable dishes. Okay, that's kind of fair. That one's kind of fine. You must wear a mask at all times unless you're eating. But even preferable to that, if it's liquefied enough of a dish, maybe if it's a soup or something, to try to squeeze the food through the pores of the mask, I think would be even more important. And you can only gather for a maximum of 2 hours. Singing is discouraged, but if you must sing, you must wear a mask and sing below a standard speaking voice. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Okay. So guys, the bottom line is this. For Thanksgiving and Christmas, you have to gather with a maximum of 3 households, including your own. Even if your family is composed of more than 3 households, you can't all gather together. It must be outdoors. You cannot gather in your home. You must wear a mask at all times unless you're eating. You must be seated socially distant. You can't eat around a table, even outdoors. You need to make sure that none of your other friends and family are gathering somewhere far off in the same park. You can only use the restroom if it's sanitized. Guys, listen, I know I've been somewhat humorous here, but in all all sincerity, this is an overreach. And this is not the first overreach that the government has done. There's been several. And I get that there's some people that are in the camp that are saying, yes, but this is the government stepping in to make sure that we're all safe. And that if you don't value these guidelines, that you don't value people that are being affected and you're not protecting the vulnerable. Listen, I have a huge heart to protect the vulnerable. Okay. And you should consider potentially not visiting grandma this year for the holidays. If she's in a vulnerable category, you should consider always wearing a mask. But my point is not even that some of these things may not be a good thing to consider, especially if you have people that are in what would be considered the high risk category. My point is this: that should be for each of you with your own families to assess that. That's my point. That should not be for the government telling you, here's how you should assess the risk with you and your family this holiday. But that should be on you to, with your own family, assess the risk that you feel comfortable or not comfortable taking. And if you don't, listen, if you feel personally like you want to apply all of these guidelines and even go stricter than that, I have no problem with that. Absolutely no problem with that. That's totally fine. My issue is not having strict guidelines or taking serious precautions. My issue is when the government tells you and tells me that for Christmas, I can't have even 2 households gather inside my home. On top of all of that, the gathering must be 2 hours. Do you guys really think that people are going to be having gatherings and they're going to be opening presents? And here it is, little Timmy's turn to open presents. Guys, sorry. We reached the 2 hours. We got to cut it off. No, people aren't going to do that. This is an overreach. It's stepping over the line. I know I added some comedic element to making fun of them because I do think they are ridiculous, but I do want to make clear I'm not devaluing the lives of people that are vulnerable. It's not about that. We should all take the proper precautions to protect the people around us that are vulnerable, especially our family during the holidays, and we should all assess that. It's not the government's job to tell you, here's how you must risk assess and here's what you must do to protect your family. That is your job as an individual. And again, I get the argument of people that are saying that it's similar to seatbelts, right? That the government mandates that we wear seatbelts, but they're doing it for your safety. I get it. Okay, I get that side of the argument. But even with that being said, this is way too far. As always, I love having conversations about these things. Some of you may feel like I am flat out wrong, and I'm totally open to that. So I say a lot of things that I think I'm probably wrong about, and I look back on and think I would have phrased it differently or said it differently. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. Do you think that this is overbearing? Do you think it's ridiculous? Do you think most people won't follow it? Will you follow it? Or do you think this is the right way for our government to go to help protect the population as a whole? I would love to hear from you guys. With all of that being said, guys, thanks again for tuning into the Jonathan Dierman Show. I appreciate you guys. Make sure to like this video if you like what I'm trying to do here. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys at the next Jonathan Dierman Show. Peace out.